Before cities had walls, before kings had thrones, someone had to cut the first road through the wild. Pause. Not with a map, not with a prayer alone. With iron. With a blade that bites into vine and tree and stubborn earth, making a path where there was none. That power, that stubborn, relentless force, is Ogun. And the reason he's so fascinating is this. Ogun is not a simple war god. He's the spirit of the tool and the weapon, the forge and the battlefield, the road that connects communities, and the danger that comes with progress. So today, we're stepping into Yoruba mythology and Yoruba spiritual tradition to meet Ògún, the Òrìṣà of iron, craft, courage, and the hard truths that metal demands. Music dips. Because if you want a civilization, you need iron. And if you want iron, you have to respect the one who rules it. In Yoruba tradition, the Òrìṣà are powerful spiritual forces, each with distinct personalities, symbols, and stories that reflect how people understand the world. Ògún, often said as Ògún, and in Yoruba written as Ògún, is one of the most compelling because he sits right at the crossroads of human life. He is the force of iron, and iron is everywhere. It's in the farmer's hoe and the hunter's spear. It's in the blacksmith's hammer and the warrior's blade. And in modern life, it's in the engine, the factory, the keys in your pocket, the bridges, the railways, the skeleton of the world we built. So this isn't just a story about an ancient deity. It's a story about the price and promise of power. Ògún is commonly known as an Òrìṣà associated with iron, war, hunting, and craftsmanship, especially blacksmithing. But don't picture him as a distant figure sitting on a throne of weapons. Picture him as motion, as work, as the moment a human being takes raw material and says, "I will shape this." Ògún is the heat of the forge and the discipline of the craft. He's also the sharp edge of conflict, because iron can protect, but it can also destroy. That dual nature is not a contradiction in his character. It's the point. Ògún represents a kind of power that doesn't pretend to be gentle, the kind of power that clears obstacles, the kind of power that makes promises dangerous, because he's linked to truth, oaths, and consequences. In other words, Ògún is the force you call on when you're doing something difficult, risky, or necessary, when you're breaking ground, when you're facing danger, when you're building a road through the impossible. And in the stories, that road is sometimes literal. To understand Ògún, it helps to understand his symbols, because symbols are like shortcuts into a deity's personality. First, iron. Iron is transformation. It begins as something hidden in the earth, then it's pulled out, refined, heated, beaten, shaped. Iron is what happens when nature meets intention. It's civilization made solid. But iron also doesn't care about your feelings. It holds an edge, it breaks bones, it demands skill. So iron tells you what Ògún is about, power that must be handled correctly, or it will handle you. Another symbol often linked with Ògún is the dog. Think of what a dog represents in a hunting context: loyalty, alertness, courage, a companion that goes with you into danger without hesitation. A dog doesn't negotiate with the dark forest. It enters it. That energy fits Ògún perfectly, the one who goes first, the one who doesn't flinch. And then there's the palm frond, often used as a marker of sacred space, a boundary, a sign that something is set apart. That matters because Ògún isn't only out there in warfare or mythic battles. He can be honored in everyday places where iron rules: workshops, crossroads, roads, tools, places where life gets made and unmade. And that brings us to his signature theme. Ògún is not only iron. Ògún is the path iron opens, which leads to the stories. There's a famous idea tied to Ògún that he is the one who clears the way. Imagine the world before a road. A forest so thick it feels like a wall. No easy passage, no safe route, only tangled growth and unseen threads. Now imagine a figure stepping forward with iron in hand, machete, cutlass, blade, whatever form the iron takes. He swings. The vines fall. The branches split. And suddenly, where there was only wilderness, there is a route. This is Ogun as a pioneer force, the one who goes ahead so others can follow. And there's something important hidden in that image. Clearing a path is not polite work. It's not delicate. It's necessary, but it's violent toward what stands in the way. That's why Ogun is often approached with respect, because the same energy that can carve out your future can also cut straight through you if you treat it casually. In many traditions, Ogun is not a tame helper. He's a power that must be honored properly. Because when the blade is in your hand, you can build a home or start a war. And that tension sets up one of the most important ways to understand him. Ogun embodies the truth that progress has consequences. Every tool has a shadow. Every road has a cost. And every civilization has iron at its center. Let's lock in Ogun with two truths, both true at the same time. Truth number one, Ogun is about creation. Tools, craft, work, the skill that turns survival into society. Truth number two, Ogun is about destruction. Weapons, conflict, the edge that ends arguments and ends lives. If you're trying to choose which is the real Ogun, you're missing him. Because Ogun is the lesson that power is neutral until it meets a human hand. The same iron that plows a field can pierce a chest. So the question isn't, is Ogun good or bad? The question is, are you disciplined enough to handle what you're asking for? And that leads naturally into a part many people don't expect. Ogun isn't only about war. He's also about truth. Across Yoruba tradition, Ogun is often connected with oaths, serious promises, the kind you don't make lightly, because iron doesn't bend to excuses. And the spirit of iron doesn't either. In some cultural contexts, people invoke Ogun when swearing to tell the truth, because Ogun is not just strength, he's accountability. Think about that symbolism. If you lie, you can twist words. But you can't twist iron without heat and force. Ogun stands for the kind of truth that's heavy, the kind that has consequences. And beyond oaths, Ogun is often seen as a protector of those who work with danger and metal, people who face risk as part of life, hunters, craftspeople, blacksmiths, and in modern interpretations, people on the road, drivers, mechanics, those who live surrounded by engines and steel. Because the road is a place where life moves fast, and where one mistake can cost everything. So Ogun becomes a guardian of motion and machinery. But again, never casual. Ogun's protection is not a free gift. It's a relationship. Respect, ritual, responsibility. And that's a powerful way to frame him for a modern viewer. Ogun is the spirit of the working world, not the dreamy world. Not the world of wishful thinking. The world of sweat, sparks, and hard decisions, which is exactly why his influence didn't stay in one region. As Yoruba culture and religion moved across the Atlantic through the horrors of the slave trade, the Òrìṣà traveled too, carried in memory, prayer, song, and ritual. And Ògún appears in multiple diaspora traditions under related names. In Brazil, for example, Ògún is widely known as Ogum in Afro-Brazilian religions like Candomblé and Umbanda, often still linked to iron, war, protection, and the energy of the path. In Haitian Vodou, you can find the Ogou spirits, warrior-like presences, often associated with strength, weapons, and leadership. And in Lukumi/Santeria, Ògún remains a powerful figure connected to iron and labor, often honored alongside other Òrìṣà with shared ritual life. Now, details can vary by region and tradition. Names, songs, symbols, and associations shift depending on community history. But the core remains recognizable. Ògún is the iron current, the disciplined force, the one who moves first. And that's why he's so easy to recognize in any setting where metal changes the world. But it's also where misunderstandings can happen, especially online. So let's clear a big one up. You'll sometimes see Ògún reduced to a single label like the war god, as if that's all he is. But Yoruba's spiritual tradition is not a video game character menu. These are deep, layered spiritual identities tied to ethics, community life, and lived practice. Ogun is war, yes, but also craft, technology, roads, justice, oaths, protection, and the dangerous beauty of human progress. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Ogun is not just about violence. He is about power, especially the kind that builds the world and can break it. And that brings us to a final question. What does Ogun mean for you right now? Here's a quick thought experiment. If Ogun rules iron in the road, what's the most Ogun object in your life? Is it your car key? A wrench? A kitchen knife? A laptop? Built from layers of mined metal and engineered heat? Or maybe it's something symbolic, a work badge, a tool belt, a helmet, a steering wheel. Drop your answer in the comments. Not because it's trivia, but because it forces you to see what Ogun represents. The tools we depend on every day are not harmless. They're power, and power asks something of you. So who is Ogun? Ogun is the blade that opens the world. He is the forge that turns raw earth into civilization. He is the road through the forest, progress made possible by iron. And he is the warning written into metal itself. If you want power, you must also accept responsibility. Because iron doesn't care who holds it. It only cares what it's used to do. Pause. If you enjoyed this journey into Yoruba mythology and the story world around Ogun, tell me which figure you want next. Another Òrìṣà or a god from a different tradition entirely. And as always, may your path be open, your hands be steady, and your power be guided by wisdom.